Hey, so I guess it's good afternoon, Sunday afternoon again, time flies. Yesterday I was busy with a lot of personal things, just dealing with stuff that needed dealing with, mortgages, banking, etc. Went out for lunch to one of my favorite Turkish restaurants. Disappointed by them, to be honest, but hey, it doesn't matter. Maybe they had bigger things on their minds. In the meantime, nothing's happened to the Canta in the last 2 weeks because of various things, including going up to Craig's to help him try and progress some of his builds, including his office, which is being put into part of some stables and tack room that he bought previously that myself and him and Phil and his son had dismantled. After that, we reassembled it on another weekend. All of these are big jobs actually to be done by men with no extra special tools or anything, but hey, it got done. And then last weekend we obviously got his little Messerschmitt replica from the 1950s, started after 14 years. So, Sunday afternoon, here I am, a couple of small little jobs, and all I'm going to try and do today actually is make up a little plate to support the hood release cable, which I managed to break out of the dash in winter when it was really cold. So that's the first thing I want to do, is make a little aluminium plate, either screw it in or rivet it into the dash. Hopefully it'll stay and just look a lot better than the broken out hole that's there now. A couple of other small little jobs, but we'll get to them one by one. So yeah, welcome to the show, and please do subscribe, click the like button, all of those things. This helps us to grow our channels. Various people that you subscribe to, you'll know this, and enjoy the show. So today we have lots of wind. It might be a bit of a noisy camera work coming into this. As you can see, that's job number one, is to try and repair that. I might even push job number one out the way quickly and get rid of these wires, push some back, try to just leave a hook on this because I need the lives to fit a USB connector just for charging. The speakers, I have no intent on using them again. So yeah, little plate. If I'm really lucky, I'll be able to undo this end, get the handle off, get this retaining nut off, probably fit it in from behind somehow, I'm not sure. Put a little plate in and then screw the plate into this hard plastic. The access from behind is probably impossible. I think this dash is fitted in one direction when they build it in the factory. So yeah, rock and roll, let's go. So I hate doing this, cutting wires just randomly, but I can't get in anywhere. So actually coming in and cutting this off sort of at a point midway, I guess, so that there's a bit left on each side to reconnect should it ever want to be reconnected. Cut that one off. We'll cut the driver's side off as well, similarly, and then hopefully be able to withdraw these and get them packed somewhere, just stash them for later use. Who knows, someone might want to use them. And then pull these wires out. These guys at the moment, I'm not sure exactly what goes where. The important thing, as I said, will be about maintaining alive, that I can reconnect. Hopefully there is still some life in the lives. There's all sorts. Yeah, I'm not sure where any of this comes from at this point, but we'll figure it out. So for the moment, that seems to be the next step. Figure that out, because it was actually bugging me more than repairing this hole. Maybe it's an easier job, maybe it's not. Anyway, let me try and figure out where these come from under the dash, because when you look under the dash, it's very tight, to say the least. I've taken off the air heater hose from here that connects up in there, because everything feeds in there under the dash. But it's a matter of figuring out which bits are important and which are not. What can I cut off, what can I leave? So camera off again so that I can actually concentrate on what I'm trying to figure out, and hopefully I'll get the wires drawn out as I need to. Back in a bit. So ended up resorting to cutting everything away. There's this set of wires which feed back into the plug that have been disconnected at some point. It's a yellow, goes into this plug, which one would like to assume is the power for the original radio or tape deck or whatever was in there before, but we can circuit test that at a later stage when there's a proper battery fitted. For now I will actually probably end up just duct taping it, pushing it back and just taping it over or in position somewhere on the dash so that it's kind of safe, out the way, but actually retractable. I just need to clean all this crap off, all this glue from the duct tape. I'm not sure if it'll come off, but I'll try. And that's the result of my pair of side cutters. Taking the wires out, I had to pull the grey, I had to literally pull back as far as I could on the one end, and then it's been cable tied in under the dash in positions where I can't get to it, along with other wiring loom parts. So that I've just cut away, and I think it can be binned. These speakers probably good for a retrofit, but I'm pretty sure that they are rotten and knackered by now, so not of much use unless somebody needs them. Then send me a message. So yeah, back to the hood release cable mounting point. I've now run out of little silly jobs to do, so back to proper work. Anyway, here we go again. Right, let's see. I guess first thing is we found a bit of plate, aluminium plate, that can be cleaned up. There's already a hole drilled, and I thought that might work if I shape it in some other form. Let's see if this comes off. Ah, there's a bit of luck. Let's hope the luck stays today, because that is a very, very good little thing to have happened. The little handle screws off. So that's a brilliant start. I've got no idea what size we're looking at here, but I've brought a 17 along. Oh, another bit of luck. So the 17 is the right size. It's just a matter of getting this disconnected, because I see there's one of those old-fashioned crown type washers stuck in there as well. So first nut off, part of the original dash which I managed to break. Somebody else might have broken it, but I think it was me to blame. And then we need to see if that will fit over there. Hole needs to be made a little bit bigger. That will fit through there somehow, and then we need to use the plate to pull that back in position so that the actual cable actuator itself is the only thing that works. I might have to make a little fork on the other side of this, maybe remove all of this, remove the holding nut and its clever little washer. Not sure how that was put together. It feels like some silicone, something similar. Pair of pliers, not the cleverest of tools, but functionally sometimes they really do seem to do the job a bit better than some other tools. Right, that looks like it wants to come. That's always good news when things do disassemble without too much of a fight. One washer with what looks like silicone on the back. It's either silicone or who knows. Now we need to see if this little guy will come unstuck. In fact, more so than unstuck, I might want to move it further back. Right, so it's actually happy to go in deeper, which means that we can extend that section, which will stick out, once I've created a way of creating a captive hold for it. Probably a very simple fork type plate to go in there. That'll fit through the hole, and then once you've got that stuck on the other side, I might be able to pull it together. I might not use this plate, find something a little bit thinner, and maybe even pre-painted black so that it blends in a bit better on these cracks. Right now, to be honest, feeling good so far. Let's hope the good feeling continues for a while, because that, in my view, is a win. Getting this lot this far just on the disassembly, let alone reassembly. In my heart, I'd like to believe this reassembly will be a bit easier. See if I can get a drill to drill a different piece of aluminium plate. I might even just see what else I've got and then take it from there, and hopefully reassembly quickly. So there we go. Not as impressive as one would like them to be, but both of them actually made out of sheet metal, old Dexian shelving, and they'll go back in there. I realized that the aluminium is a bit awkward to work with. It doesn't like heat, and I don't like heat on my fingers when I'm grinding, so thought I'd go to using some 1 mil or whatever thickness this is. Maybe it's 0.8, because if you've got it sandwiched on both sides, it should be fine. So next trick will be to try and feed this through the existing hole. That's why I've made that one end a little bit squiff, so that I can feed it through, and hopefully it'll stay on the inside. Place the bigger plate on the outside after I've painted and prepped it, and then hopefully just screw everything together and we'll be done. That'll be brilliant, because this has bugged me since the day I broke it. So yeah, next step, fit this tight, slightly thinner piece in the little hole. Right, are we going to try this? This is absolutely guesswork. I didn't measure anything. That goes through this way, the small plate. So if I can somehow get it through there and keep it keep it controlled so that we don't lose it outright. Because that fits, but it'll be interesting to make it fit from the other side. And unfortunately, the fit is so tight behind the dash that to try and get this in there is going to be interesting, just at the very least. I see myself swearing, or maybe not. Right, halfway in. Oh, I can't believe I'm getting this right. If this goes through, I will be very, very pleased. Right, use the pliers to literally just force it through. I am shocked. Oh my word, this is good. This is very good. Now you've got the hold back from the other side. We will add in the washer that was there originally, that keeps everything tight. This is good news. And to be honest, I didn't expect it to be working as readily and as easily as this. So that's part one. Part two, I'm thinking of replacing that bit of broken off plastic just as a spacer, so that it keeps everything kind of at the same size and level that it was before. Saying that, maybe this is the answer, just straight back on with the nut. But let's test this and see if this works. So we'll just try it out before I go and paint it. This is good news. Right, so that fits. This is pulling everything together. And I think that that repair, in my book, equates to a bit of a win. So once everything is painted and dried, I'll just refit the little T-bar handle, and we'll be able to open the dash a whole lot more correctly, easily, appropriately, whatever you want to call it. I'm as pleased as punch. Right, next job, paint the plate black. Take it out first of all, paint the plate black, and call this job done. Boom, pleased as hell. Back in a bit. So while I made a coffee, the paint dried, and I think we're ready for reassembly. I'm still pleased. Right, maybe I should have painted the little nut black as well. Maybe I can do it another day. Today's not the day. I have one other little job that I'd like to get onto as well, which I will share with you in a minute. Well, you can see them. I want to take these rivets out on the doors and on the body, because I'll replace these retaining straps with something a lot more solid, probably safety belt webbing, which I think is a much more sensible move. As far as this is concerned, let's see. Yep, this works. Oops, and that's as it's seating itself. It's good news. Last job, put this little guy back on, use my inappropriate pliers to hold it just where it slots into its own little sheath. Like I said, another small win, something that I am really, really pleased about, because it was a bit of an issue after I broke it, having this thing dangle around in a hole. Excellent. Life's small pleasures, the small wins. I think I need to get a nice sharp drill bit, get this lot out. Back in a minute. And we're back. Let's see what happens. We'll get these little guys out. Right, that's number one out. Get the door side frame out. First one. Second one. We have washers and rivets A bit of a mess, but there's a vacuum cleaner to sort that out with later on. I'll push these through in a bit, see if we can drill these out any further. That's them cleared away. These guys I don't think I'm going to successfully drill out because there's plastic behind them, and certainly make them smaller. Right, don't want to damage the plastic. I think for now that side is done. Let's turn around to the other side quickly. And do the driver's side. Once that's done, it's time to go walk the dog. I think I may as well call it a day as far as the camera is concerned. We've got 2 little jobs done. The one was a real pain in my eyeball. The others are simple little tasks. But yeah, back soon enough. Thank you for watching. Small jobs, progress, as Tattoo Don always says. Progress is progress. So thanks for joining. Click subscribe, click like, questions, comments, all of those things are welcome. Thanks a lot. Cheers, guys. And tomorrow's Monday, back to work again. Or I guess the last trick for the day is to show the handle. Soft pull on that, and the bonnet opens. So now we have one of the biggest things, in my opinion, fixed. Hood latch repair. All works again as it should, and I guess most important is the fact that this little guy is functional. Happy chappy, end of weekend. Thanks for watching again. Cheers, bye.